Welcome back to another episode of the Storm Before the Calm podcast. I am your host, Lori Grace Bailey, and today I've got some friends of mine who have actually taken me shooting, and we've done some storm chasing together, and we've even had a little session out by White Sands, and maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit. I think we will. But I
Yes,
want
we
to
most definitely
welcome
will.
Mason and Cassie Frey. So how are you guys doing today?
It's cold.
Cold, it's windy. It's central Kansas in
Oh,
March. So yesterday it was
yeah.
75 and sunny, and today it's now, I think, what,
It's like
4?
34 and blowing snow.
Oh
So
my gosh. Well, it's like going to be 90 tomorrow here in Arizona, and then it's going to be 104.
yeah,
Oh,
that you guys are supposed to get bent with the
I
heat for the next
know.
couple days.
And
Did
I
you
go
see
to
that?
NTC in 10 days.
Do
Yeah,
you?
you do.
Yeah, I do. I go to the second time within a year I go to NTC around the same time of the year, and it's going to be just ungodly
Ungodly hot.
hot compared to here.
No fun. No fun. Well, you guys storm chase, but you guys just moved away from where I'm going to eventually be moving to. So thanks a lot for that. But
Yeah,
you
you're
guys are
welcome.
now
Yeah, my
in
bad.
Well, now you guys are, I don't blame you also because now you guys are in Supercell Central, I think I'd like to call it, right? At least it's supposed to be Kansas.
We'll see.
Well, if Kansas ever decides to wake up, yeah. I mean, Kansas
It
has been
will.
kind of, one of these days.
It will
I mean,
eventually. I've never had any luck here. I think I've been chasing since
what?
2010.
Really?
And I still have never seen a tornado in the state of Kansas.
We're
Seen them
going
in
to have to
Nebraska,
fix
seen
that.
them in Missouri, seen them in Oklahoma. Never seen one. I've even seen a tornado in Iowa, but I don't really count it because it was like a bird fart. But
A lot of people are like, I'll take a bird fart. And then other people, the rest of us listening are like, what's a bird fart? And then we'll fill you in. It's a really, really dusty tornado, basically. In other words,
Yeah.
it's like a land spout or a gustnado, basically. That's a bird fart.
something short lived, more than like 2 minutes.
But really briefly, can you tell anyone who doesn't know who you are, who you guys are, and how you guys met? And maybe tell us your story really quickly before we talk about
So
storms.
I'm Cassie. I'm from Oklahoma. Northeast Oklahoma, where all we get is QLCS, QLCS spam. 32 years old. I've been chasing,
Year 5.
Mason and I have been married. This is going on year 3.
Yep.
We've been together for 4 years now. And you're from Ohio.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Ohio. You name a multitude of different weather events, and we get it from blizzards to ice storms to derechos, floods,
Yeah.
your normal general like summertime thunderstorms to violent tornadoes. It's pretty much a wide spectrum when it comes to Ohio weather. If you don't like it, just give it 30 minutes. It'll change.
Yikes.
Enlisted in the Army to get out of Ohio. Now I'm still doing that. I know that if people watch this by video, they're going to be like, what's up with the beard? Don't worry about it. If you really want to know, just do your own research. I've been chasing for 16 years. This will be year 16.
No kidding.
Started chasing before I had a driver's license, truly.
I kind of got the
Won't get into
impression that you knew what you were doing when you were out there. I mean, you guys find tornadoes in friggin' New Mexico, so that's a good thing.
I'm not gonna lie, that when we got the one in November, that was by sheer dumb luck.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
We drove down an oil field supply road. It was a dirt road that was barely even like a road.
Mhm.
It was just kind of like open pasture on both sides, and we just drove out there and
It was one of those tornadoes where like, oh, that's neat. And then it just kind of.
fully condensed.
No, it wasn't even fully condensed. It just kind of did its thing for like a minute or two. And then I didn't call it
It
a
counted.
tornado.
You
Yeah,
counted
I
it,
didn't
right?
call it a tornado for a while, and then the National Weather Service was like, that was a tornado. And I
I
was
think
like,
it was what Odessa.
I think you
like,
sent me a
confirmed it.
picture and you're like, hey, we got a tornado on this. We came out and came around this.
What?
Yeah.
We didn't believe it at
I was
first.
like, what? Hey, I'll even take land spouts. I don't care. But I prefer my land spouts in eastern Colorado off the
ooh,
Palmer, not
the pretty
some
ones.
Arizona bird fart. Yeah, you're like, that's a dust
Yeah.
devil. How did you guys meet and how did you combine your love and your love for storms? Ooh, that's actually a good one, Lori. I'm proud of myself for that one.
So I went to the 2022 National Storm Chaser Summit back when it was still real small. I
Yeah.
think there were like 100-ish people are there or something like that.
150, something like that.
I went with my friend Anna, and we did the summit thing all day long. And then my friends Anna and my friend Anna Davis, and then Cody Dunkel tried to drag me to this bar after because some of Cody's friends were meeting up. I didn't want to go. I was tired. Bedtime's 9:30. Time to go to bed. But I already had a drink or two, so I was like, you know what? All right, I'll go spend, an hour or so, and then we can go back to the Airbnb, go to bed. Mason's there.
It was my social function. It was myself, Adam Reagan, Dakota, and Stephanie Maynard. Like we held a storm chaser social in Norman every few months, and we held it the weekend of the summit. Like when we planned it, like months before that, we were like, "Oh yeah, this seems like a good weekend." And then we looked, and I was like, "Oh, well, the summit's in town, so maybe we'll actually get like more people than just what we thought." And it ended up actually being pretty sizable. Like we had people like Chris McBee was there, Bill Ustabond. There was all sorts of
Yeah.
people there.
But I noticed him. I thought he was real funny. He was also cute, but I was also in a relationship at the time, so, like, I just kinda, like, bookmarked him and put him in the back of my head until I'd say 5 or 6 months later when I was no longer in a relationship and I had happened upon the same Discord as him.
No
So
kidding.
we
I
started
can't
sending
stand
me
Discord.
It sounds so cringy when you say it
It's
like that.
not though. There's so many people that meet and chat, and I mean, both of my kids, that's how they came to, their best friends are the same thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I think we have to understand this isn't Gen X anymore. Sorry. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being older, having to find someone in a bar or a church. That was kind of the way you did things back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kinda, like, we halfway met in the bar, but yeah, healthy split, and, we just started, like, exchanging memes and talking, and then we set a date to go out to Black Mesa. We wanted to go hike Black Mesa on the Oklahoma Panhandle together. On the way out, his truck broke down. It was an entire debacle. We were stuck in
No.
Diamond.
And it was also like the hottest period that
Oh,
Oklahoma had
yeah, it
like
was, like,
5 years.
105 degrees outside. We couldn't run the air conditioning in the truck. I was pretty convinced that, like, when we got back to Lawton, I was pretty convinced. I was like, "He's never gonna wanna see me again. This was a terrible date."
Oh,
And then
I can't say much.
I think fast forward to, like, I don't know, almost 4 years later, and we
It
just had our first baby in November.
Yeah, which was crazy to think. It's like when you really look at it from the retrospective things, it's like 4 years ago, we didn't even know 5 years ago, really, we didn't even know what each
yeah.
other was. And then within that 5-year period, we met, dated, decided we didn't even get engaged. We just got married. We just said, send it.
Yeah.
Got married, then
Just like you
had a
chase
baby.
storms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
essentially.
we really did. We just really just do everything, by the seat of our pants. We don't really do anything like,
We're not one for planning.
no, why half-ass
Yeah,
2
you
things when we
are.
just
Don't
whole-ass 1 thing?
Yeah, I
The
mean,
the kid was the It wasn't like we're gonna sit here and say the kid was not playing.
Oh, no, the bow was
Yeah.
very, very planned and very prayed for, so
Bo
he
is
was
a
planned,
cutie
but
though, by the way. Like
he's
he's gonna be like when you guys are walking the mall, he's gonna be like, oh my gosh, people are gonna do that.
Did it
Mason's gonna be
already?
they
like
already do.
Mason's gonna be like, all me. It's all me.
No,
They're all just
definitely ain't on me.
big
It's a
big
healthy
chick
split.
magnet. Babies are chick magnets. It's funny.
He's definitely a big healthy split between
Yeah, like, one day he'll look like Mason, the next day he'll look like me, so he's
Aw.
handsome, though. Like, I'm
got your smile.
yeah, he's got my one dimple, so that's something
Aw.
I'm proud of, but yeah,
Well, if you
he's
want to see a picture of Bo, you guys have to go to their page, and we'll link to that. So both of you have always had a love for weather, and you both love to chase storms. What what makes chasing storms? What makes weather special to you, Cassie? I can imagine you go first. You seem to light up when I see you at the edge of a supercell, when I first met you guys in Texas, somewhere near Earth, Texas, or whatever. You guys light up really big with storms. How did you doing this?
grew up in Oklahoma in the '90s. I'll start with that.
Can't beat that.
One of my first
Take a seat.
memories is sitting down and watching it was May, and I sat down and watched TV with mom, and Gary England was on TV talking about the tornado that
Wow.
just plowed through Moore, Oklahoma. And it was a lot of my childhood was a lot of hiding in closets and hiding in bathtubs and, stuff that and I was never scared. It never scared me for
Really?
1 second. I was never a kid that was scared of storms.
Hmm.
It always just kind of fascinated me, and my mom, she also liked weather. We would watch tornado documentaries together, and, of course, the movie Twister exacerbated all this, I'll say that.
Of
I
course.
loved the movie Twister as a kid, but I told my mom when I was, like, 7 or 8, I was like, "I'm gonna be a tornado chaser whenever I grow up, and I'm gonna be a
Nice.
meteorologist." And I always wanted to chase. I think that of all the things that have changed in my life, that's something that's never changed is I've always wanted to chase. I've always loved weather. Even back when I had no idea how to chase, I was always on the SPC or I was looking at stuff that I didn't have any idea about. Just just
Yeah.
curiosity. And, I watched a lot of course I watched a lot of Reed and stuff like that, but
Oh, yeah.
um
Because we grew up in the golden generation of storm chasing.
watching like Storm Chaser,
Yeah, that's what I would say is because like his Storm Chasers was on TV.
you know,
Are
Went
you
from, serious scientific TV show
yeah.
to
like I don't want to say not sitcom, but like
no, kinda like Big Brother-esque, like a game show, but it was still good to watch.
yeah, so it's always been a constant in my life. I've always wanted to do something to do with the weather. Meteorology, um, ended up always being out of the cards because I have learning disabilities, and I
I didn't know that.
ultimately decided that I can place myself in better spaces than struggling my way through a
Right.
math-related degree, and I figured, let me pick up a camera and give it my best shot, so here I am.
And you're charismatic as hell too. I mean, come on.
I try, which is wild because I have probably the world's worst social anxiety. You can't see it, but my hands are sweating right
Right?
now.
I know. Don't
I'm
worry. I'm the
terrified
same
of
way. This stuff, even doing a podcast, but you know what? We rise above our fears, right? Even me doing a podcast, I'm getting good feedback finally, but damn, man, it's not easy just getting up there.
no.
You're worried, what are people going to think? Is this stupid? Am I just treading water? And then I also have my own mental health challenges. I think what I love about doing this and why I'm so glad to have you guys on is that there's that community of support, right? Like none of us are perfect. And I think there is no perfect storm chaser. I can't even think of someone who's perfect. And then there's drama. Just no one's perfect in it. But the good thing that I like about this community, which by the way, you two have just been awesome.
Yeah.
You guys have been awesome to me, and I've just been really grateful to know you. And the first time I saw you was where was that? Was that Earth, Texas, right? There was that
It was
No,
like Earth
Mattis
or Levelland, one of the
it was
2.
Levelland. I remember because
level and
We were pulled over just looking at the storm, just, like, hoping it would do something.
I fangirled because we pulled over and I was like, "That's Lori."
Oh,
Mason was like, "Well, go say hi," and I was like, "I can't. I physically can't. I can't move myself forward to go say hi to
I
her."
think I walked up to him.
Yeah, you did, and I was like, "Oh no!" Like I was like panicking. I was like, "Please
yeah.
stop! I don't."
Because
My
I'm the
gosh.
social one of the 2 of us because, I mean, I've
You
gotten
drag
used
her
to that
into it.
aspect of well, I've gotten used to the aspect of just going up to people and just being like, "Hey,
Yeah,
what's going?" Like, that's something the military kinda, like, instills
sure.
in you when you get to those higher ranks, like, when you become a sergeant and a staff sergeant, you gotta go find out what the hell's going on. So you
Mhm.
gotta go approach yeah, like, when you're a private, you're like, "Oh god, I gotta go talk to this major or this lieutenant colonel. I'm
Yeah.
gonna shit my pants." And then you're like, "Oh, whatever. I got my ass chewed before. I'll just walk up here and talk to this dude. Who cares? He's just a person like I am. He's just old. Who cares? Let's just go up here and
Mhm.
talk."
No, I cannot speak to like if I admire you in any way, shape, or form. So it's happened with you.
How funny. Can I just tell you something too? Because I was out on this is funny, y'all, because they don't know this either. But I jumped out of the vehicle because the storm was coming. There was rotation and it was pretty trashy. But the Mamatis ended up being really, really pretty out right after that. So we kind of got out of the core and got out of this ugly storm. But we're actually taking some pictures because the sun is coming in. The sun's getting ready to set soon. And I'm
Yeah.
finally in this open area and I'm taking these pictures. And then I see this red truck up and I was like, "Man, who the F is in my camera view?" And the truck pulls up and I'm like, "Oh, I've gotta compose this shot now." And then I was like, "Oh, it's Cassie and Mason." And then it was great to meet you. And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's not put this. Who are these a-holes that just messed up my shot?" So that
And
was
I feel
my
bad about
initial
that
like
because she pointed it out to me later. I was like, "You probably ruined her shot." I was like,
it was funny.
"That's my bad."
But it's all good. It's all good. I was actually glad to have met you guys, and so
Because I
I'm
remember
I'm
it
fine
was
with
you
that.
and Liz, wasn't it?
Yeah, me and Liz and my friend Brooka also was with
Oh,
us.
yeah, that's who it was, Brooka.
Yeah.
Trying to remember
So
who
That
was
2023.
yeah, it was right before I
yeah.
left the deployment.
That was Chase Station 2023.
Yeah.
So you all used to live in El Paso, but you always did all these full sends into Oklahoma or North Texas.
The
And then you
amount
drove back
of
by the next day and you had to work. I mean, what are you
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah.
There were days where it was like, why am I doing this
Mm-hmm.
to myself? I'm beat down and exhausted. Post-deployment Chasecation, we were on our way back. We had just done the weather social and hung out with Steph and Dakota Maynard and like had like a day at the water park and all that.
Hurricane Harbor.
Yeah, did all that, and then it's like we're having lunch with them in Oklahoma City, and she's like, because I was tired. I'm not gonna lie. There was a part of me that was like, yeah, there's a risk, but do I really want to play this game right now? Do I really want to fly too close to the sun and just really bet it all on black? And then what do? We drive back with nothing, and it's just it's a
Yes.
tail between your legs kind of moment.
And then
And you did that
there's me. There's me
repeatedly.
who's in the seat next to him at lunch, and I'm just like, yeah, we have to bet it all on black. Look at this. This looks so good. We have to go for it, and it's on the way home. I'm begging you.
And then we ended up no,
It was
that was
Silverton.
that was Silverton.
No.
Yeah, we scored. We got it. And it was like, so that day was, we hop and skipped our way across the panhandle from Canyon all the way to Silverton on back roads, FM roads, the state highways, you name it. We pretty much covered every road in the Texas
Okay.
panhandle that day. Then we had to stop and help. I think it was what
Brandon Sullivan.
Yeah,
got stuck in the mud.
Brandon Sullivan got stuck in the mud in a rental.
No.
So we had to help him out of the
Those
mud with
roads are
another
garbage,
chaser.
by the way, down there by Silverton. Garbage.
But yeah,
Mud.
they're absolute garbage. And then we hear that there was the first tornado of the day, the one that touched down right outside.
It had the twins. That was
the twins.
Mm.
And we booked it.
Yeah, we did slightly above the speed limit to get there.
Yeah.
I heard we were booking it, and I was really disappointed because I was like, this is my day. I was like, I forecasted this all by myself. I did the big girl thing,
Wow.
and here we are, and I missed it. And I wanted to help Brandon. That was like first and foremost. But I was like, dang it. And then I look, and I'm just like, okay, there's got to be something. And I look, and I like tilt my head to the left, and there's a big stovepipe.
And she says tornado, and I can't see it because like I'm focused on the road, and I've got tunnel vision right now where I'm like trying to focus on the road. And I look over, and the only thing I see is the pillar of my truck in the way. And then I lean my head back just a little bit, and then it's like, it's right there. Let's go.
No. So you guys got that.
Yeah, we got
I
the
hate you.
Silverton for. I think that one of the most notable parts about that day was the drive back, though. Mason is the patron saint of wake me up in blank town,
Yeah.
and then he doesn't wake up.
God.
I think I gave you the wheel.
Said, when we get to Carlsbad, let me take over. I'm
They're
like,
all the middle of nowhere between Lubbock and El Paso.
I'm like, bet you can take over in Carlsbad.
Yeah.
So we get to Carlsbad. I stop, put a splash of gas in, and I just want to go home. He's taking over. I don't buy myself a energy drink. And I'm like, hey, wake up. You got to take over. And he's
It's out cold.
passed out. And so I'm like, you know what? I'll finish the drive. It's fine. I just got to go from Carlsbad to El Paso. It's not that bad. We get to Guadalupe, and the only thing keeping me going is this disgusting grapefruit sugar-free monster that I'm gagging my way through, and that's the only thing keeping me awake.
I think I woke up 10 minutes outside of El Paso.
I woke up 10 minutes outside of El Paso. Where are we? I'm just like, shut up. Go back to sleep. I don't want to hear it.
We got home. We
You had
got
to
home at
offload.
4 a.m.
We got home at 4 a.m. He had to be
brutal.
up and out the door by 6.
Yep.
Wow. You know what,
And
though?
then
You got Silverton, though. You guys know I'm pissed, right? Because I missed it. We drove to Lubbock that night, and the next morning was like, oh, where's that, that I think it was an elevated risk. It was a 3, I think, up in Kansas. And we were like, full send. Let's leave out of here. Lubbock area. That's a secondary target. I've only got 10 days out here. I need to attack the primary targets. We drove all the way up there, and I get this elevated garbage. I mean, it was pretty, don't get me wrong, because I love all the structure stuff, but I'm sitting out there, Connor Croft, and like 3 other people are out there. Aaron and a couple other people were like, this is pretty. And that was that. And as soon as I was like, okay, you know what? This is pretty. I don't get a chance to see structure or supercells in Colorado, Eastern Colorado. This is pretty. And I was legitimately happy for myself. I was like, yay, Lori, you got this pretty little
And
storm.
then you check out Twitter.
And then I got in the
there it is.
car because my navigation and driving, I was done driving, chasing the storm. And I let Brooke or Liz drive, and I sat in the back seat and I opened up my phone. And I was like, "Oh, tornado in Silverton, tornado in Silverton." If you're a storm chaser and you miss a target and you just start swiping through Twitter and you're going, tornado, that's a pretty good angle. Oh, Reed totaled his car in Silverton. Oh, this Silverton. And I'm like, where Silverton is.
I think he was what, like 3/4 of a mile down the road from us?
We passed them.
But that, if I had just stayed in Lubbock, we would have nailed it. And so I'm just like, all of my joy was literally sapped to nothing. And then I was pissed. And then I had FOMO. And it's reality though, right? Like,
It is.
have you all missed storms, and like, how do you deal with
Yeah.
that? How do you deal with
No.
with failure?
Well, so there was it 24 as well?
Yes.
It was. So I wanted to bank on the dry line one day. It was the day that Midland got the tornado. And I was like, no, dry line will do it. Dry line will do it. Let's just stay. I don't want to go all the way to Midland. If we're going to go to Midland, then we might as well just go home.
I'm sitting there. We're out by Denver City.
It's getting 3-inch hail.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? That's a fat boundary, and that supercell is headed right towards it. So I think we should go at least start heading towards Big Spring. Like, we should start heading that way. And Mason's like, no, it's not. Gorgeous supercell, DVD size hail.
No,
And
not for
then
me.
tornado emergency for Midland, and there's an EF3, and I think it was an EF3. Yeah, EF. But and then I mean we've had a ton of failures. Like there was in November 25, there was also that tornado at your Hobbs Center. You were actually in the bathroom.
Oh,
that's why we missed it.
We
we missed that tornado that Reed caught, like the snaky one. We stopped at the Loves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was 11/4.
Well, we won't talk about.
Oh no, we will. We will definitely talk about November 4th of 2022. Don't. Okay, so I had just moved into my apartment in El Paso. We had just gotten everything situated, and we were like, "There's a moderate in Eastern Texas," and we misunderstood the just the size of Texas at the time.
Oh yeah, we were not aware of the size of Texas for some reason.
So we were like,
Gosh.
yeah, we can get that. Let's just get some sleep. We'll wake up. We'll be at Dallas by like noon. We'll be fine. We get up. We start driving. We then get to Midland and get bogged down in traffic on I-20, which that slowed us down. Then it was the jump across everything else, and it was just insane how much traffic we were dealing with trying to get to Dallas.
And then there was, I think one of the biggest hangups was you've driven through the Midland area at any point in the past 3 years.
That's what I was talking about was I-20.
Okay, yeah.
I-20 construction that they're doing. And then when we get to Dallas, we're trying to play dodge 'em in freaking rush hour traffic at like 2:30 in the afternoon in the metro.
Forget it.
And eventually it just turned into, okay, what's the quickest way around the city? Okay, we'll get on the George Bush Turnpike. And the George Bush Turnpike was just empty. But still, it's like, instead of it being like a nice 20-minute cut across the city, it was turned into a 45-minute like jut all the way around it.
All in all,
I hate metros. Yeah.
we didn't see anything that day. I actually cried in Buc-ee's, and he bought me a sloth, like a stuffed sloth that made me feel better.
So we kind of licked our wounds in the Terrell Buc-ee's parking lot. Then we got dinner. This is
pre-sobriety for me.
This is back when we both drank. We bought a 6-pack of Angry Orchards, went to a Motel 6 in Louisville, Texas, pounded back a few Angry Orchards,
Drowned
and then
your
went
sorrows.
to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically drowned our sorrows, and then woke up the next morning.
And then I had to go back to Oklahoma City because I lived in OKC at the time. So.
Yeah, but we had to get your car from Lawton.
Deal.
That's frustrating, but it's still not as frustrating as some of the other you guys have gone through in your lives, right? I just think it's awesome, by the way, that Riley's a part of your family, by the way, and I just think that takes some incredible strength to be able to bring somebody else in and up into that. And I think, by the way, if you don't know who Riley is, she's an amazing person. I'm just going to speak praises of her. The little bit that I know and the photos that I've seen of hers, I have a feeling you all need to buy her a camera or something. But you guys, she definitely needs a camera because she's got an eye for things. But you all have gone through some really tough things. And how did you persevere through that? And it seems like you all were meant for each other. I have to just say this, that kind of yin and yang. Am I right here? Because you both have gone through some really tough things, but then you ended up, solid. Now you're this solid magnet together. like this bulwark.
I don't know, he's the, I guess, crazy to my calm. I'm not.
Yeah,
If you've met Mason, he's always up to something. He's always got something going on. He's just constantly active, and I'm more of like a, like, chilled out kind of person.
Definitely don't slow down easy.
We've helped each other through a lot.
mm,
Addiction, mental health issues,
Just the general struggle of day to day life sometimes.
especially when it comes to the military life, because I
right.
I did I did not think that it would be this hard, but some days it really kinda takes it out of you.
Absolutely.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Especially when you're gone for and you're deployed for so long. I know my heart felt for you because I have a brother who was in Desert Storm and had a career in the military as well, and my father as well. And all I can say is, you military brats, man, I feel for every one of you. It's a long, lonely road, you know. How did you get through that, Cassie? And then you, Mason,
So
because you were deployed. How did you deal with the day to day, just wishing you could get back home? But Cassie, what about you?
so I've had a problem with alcohol for a long time. It was after mom died that I really kinda had a problem with it, but when
Hmm.
he left, I don't remember the months because he left in August. I don't remember August, September, October, November, December, and most of January. I was kinda blacked out that entire time period. I finally decided to get sober with a bunch of stumbles in
Hmm.
January. I lost my job, of course, because you can't keep a job if you're blackout drunk all the time.
Yeah.
I lost my job. I lost my friends. I asked a lot of really stupid things of my friends just trying to get by, and I'll never forget I asked Jessica Moore for assistance because it was the withdrawals in January that really kind of kept me down. Um
Mm,
every time I,
Started when everything's feeling so rough.
yeah,
yeah.
and every time I would every time I'd be like, I'm gonna do it this time, the withdrawals would set back in. I'd start shaking, I'd start feeling
Wow.
sick, and I'd fall back into it. But I just remember sitting there and thinking, I was like, I'm gonna lose everything if I don't stop. Cause my friends were starting to distance themselves from me. I was gonna lose everything if I didn't just cut it off. I went and picked up some Pedialyte, some Gatorade, some
Wow.
stuff that's easy on the stomach, and I just
Yeah.
kinda spent the next it took me 2 weeks to get through it. And
No
I
kidding.
think for the next year or so it was really rough and I had some stumbles, but
Sure.
um I think we're going on year 3 now. And
Mm,
Pretty much both of us, because I stopped drinking shortly after I came home because we tried to do the social thing, and then we both realized that that wasn't going to work.
yeah,
So we just decided that was- we're both going to be sober.
yeah. And
no kidding.
I'm just now starting to get to the point where I'm comfortable being around alcohol, but that's kind of how I dealt with him being gone. And then after I sobered up, it was a lot of just really sad feelings. And I
Hmm.
had taken a part-time job, and it was a lot of me trying to keep myself busy with work and then coming home and trying to get the house together for him and for when he came home, and learning a lot of recipes to cook and just kind of trying to get by. I mean,
You're
I
here
guess the
now,
only
though.
way.
You're here now,
Yeah.
though. You made it. You guys are together, and you're thriving. From what I see, I've
Mhm.
seen you guys face to face. I've we've broken KFC together. Broken bread. Get it? We've broken KFC together. We've broken
You were
KFC
actually the first
muffins.
person to meet the baby.
Yeah, you
I
were.
was, huh?
You were the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought,
So, well,
aw.
Liz, but she was there at the birth, so.
Yeah. It's a little different when you're there for the birth. Like outside of the birth, like you were the first person to meet the baby.
So,
Yeah. So,
I mean, have you managed to heal those hurts and all the byproduct of the drinking? Right? There's a byproduct to it. Other people start to like, hey, man, I'm trying to help, but
yeah.
you got to help yourself. You got to take your step.
Yeah, and so with my friends and especially some of my closest friends, I've managed to repair most of it, but I know that there's always going to be a scar.
Hmm.
And thinking back on it, there's just so much shame that I have to end up letting go at some point.
Hmm.
But, you know, I just hope that one day they can just fully forgive me and start putting scar cream over the scars. But,
Yeah.
I overall they were still there and I can't thank them enough.
We have to battle that. Like once you overcome something, the past is still trying to there to haunt you. I have so many things. Gosh, there are certain days that I just go by like, with my own relationship with my wife, and I'm just like, I'm such a putz, and she doesn't see it that way, but I have to forgive myself first and foremost, and we're still together, and it wasn't easy, and it's so important to be self-reflective, but at the same time acknowledge that, man, everything is a process. Healing is a process. Do you feel that sobriety, you feel stronger now that you're on this end of sobriety? And I'm sure that temptation is still there.
So I think the temptation's always going to be there for me just because it was such an ingrained part of who I was at the time. But there's no better feeling than waking up knowing I'm not going to feel like crap the next day because I haven't drank myself sick.
Yeah.
So I can think better. I can move better. I can be more active. I can make better decisions. But there's always going to be that little shadow behind me that's just like a drink sounds really good or, something like that.
I mean, I can't really say I was an alcoholic to that extent, but like I definitely at times I partook in the crazed drinking culture because there were some dudes, like I can remember this back to when I was a private and I was like 20,
Yeah.
21 years old. There were dudes that would go to their beer terms and they would have a 30 rack of natty lights and that would be their after work beer is the whole
Yeah.
30 rack. Now I feel like now because I was like I'm gonna say I was a social drinker. I was not an alcoholic. I did not need that to get through my day every day.
Mm,
But now as someone who's given it up and I feel much more grounded in my life and, things are going the right way and things have kind of bloomed, I guess you could say in a way, like in a spring, fresh spring light. I feel a lot better about myself. I don't feel as like cruddy. Like,
yeah.
as you get older, like alcohol just does not go through your system the same it does at 21 and 22. So like
Right.
at 28, you're just like, this hangover is brutal. And then that's, Sunday morning and then it's Tuesday afternoon and you're at work and it's like, this is day 3 of this crap and I'm over it. I'm just ready to just not do this anymore. And then now that we're both on this path and we both have decided that
Mm,
this is what we're going to do with our lives, I feel so much better with myself. I really do. The health aspects of it, like we're not tearing our bodies apart by
right.
just perpetually drinking and drinking and drinking.
Yeah. It's nice to finally, put my foot down and, say we go to some kind of, event with friends and put my foot down and say, "No, I don't drink,"
Right.
and be firm about that and not have to be I'm finally at that point where I can, look somebody in the face and be like, "No, I don't drink." Period. So,
And I wasn't even expecting to ask so many questions about your sobriety as well, because it's deeply
okay.
personal. And to be able to share that, I think that it's brave to have to feel and sort through those emotions, the guilt and everything else, and to be able to come out at this end of it. You two are stronger than I now than when I first met you. At least that's been my observations. You two are you're really fun to be around, but also I feel safe when I'm around you guys. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you.
It's
Yeah, thank
it's a
you.
good feeling. Like, I feel like you have my back. Like, also, if zombies were anywhere, I would be going to your place because Mason, I think, coupled with my own Second Amendment hobbies, I think that we would be in good shape. So, anyways, that was just my little thing I wanted to share. By the way, thanks for sharing that, and it's just a personal blessing to have you guys, your friendship in my life. So knowing that you guys have gone through so many difficulties and yet you still chase the storm, you still put yourself at risk, you still enjoy getting after it. What are some lessons you would share with others, or what are some things some takeaways that you would want others to know who are going through similar paths? Does that make sense?
Mine is specifically speaking to younger girls and younger
Mm,
women. Just do it. Do not waste your early 20s thinking, what if I don't
oh,
make it? What if I'm not going to be good enough? What if I don't know what I'm doing enough? Stop with the what ifs and just get out there and do it. Because
right.
my biggest regret in life is the fact that I was too scared to start when I was way younger.
Wow.
So that's my biggest piece of advice. If you're
Hmm.
for some reason 16, 17, 18, early 20s, like woman, just do it. Uh, you will you will thank yourself in the long run.
Got to rip the band-aid off at some point.
Yeah.
Really?
And in terms of those struggling with addiction, use stuff like chasing as a way forward.
Mhm.
I knew that one of the things that got me out of the hole is the fact that I know I cannot chase while I'm drunk. I know that I
Mhm.
cannot take good pictures while I'm drunk. I know that I cannot succeed in my own terms of success if I have
Mm.
this traveling behind me or with me all the time.
I think the one thing I would say when it comes to like to young men, don't spend your life embellishing, like impressing anybody else when it comes to the way you live your life. Live your life wholly the way you want to. Don't worry about what everybody else thinks. That's not
Yeah.
what life is about. At the end of the day, when you whatever your pillar of faith is or whatever your life belief is, you're not impressing anybody else. It's solely you at the end of the day and whether or not you're going to be happy the last moment you close your eyes. Like
Wow.
I sit here and I think about my life and yeah, there's some stuff that I definitely have done in the past or like that younger me did that was definitely childish, stupid and immature. But I sit here and I think about it now where I'm like those moments led to where I am today. It led to the life decisions and the actions that have now made today possible. And I will never change any of that
Wow.
for as long as I live because it's led me to this beautiful life that I have with you. It's led me to
Oh,
this beautiful little life that we're carving out. And ultimately, the only person I'm really worried about impressing in this life is nobody else but you and my loved ones. That's what really matters. I don't give two shits about, random guy number 34 on the street or whatever. Who cares?
right.
That's not who you need to be worried about impressing. It doesn't matter if you impress, 100,000 followers on YouTube or whatever your life decision might be. As long as you can think every moment of the day that yes, this is something I will view with happiness when I close my eyes for the last time. That's what really matters.
That is
But
solid.
as
That is
but
solid.
as far as like storm chasing and anybody wanting to get into that or anything like that,
Chase for you.
yeah, that's the best. Yeah,
Mm.
honestly, yeah, thank you. You kind of took the words out of my mouth, but
Sorry,
thank you.
I know we
Chase for
talked
Chase
you.
about it a lot.
for you. No,
Yeah,
absolutely. Please go into that because I don't think we say that enough.
don't like. I would love to, give it a shot, but I don't have the time for that.
Mhm.
At best, maybe we'll get 2 weeks this year.
We
If
have a
I'm
baby.
lucky. I have a baby.
That too, no, yeah.
I have a very chaotic career in
Right.
the military. I should have been being looked at for my EA, for Master Sergeant and First Sergeant by now. I'm well behind my peer group, and I will fully own that. But at the same time, I'm happy with the way my career has gone. But at the same time, I can only chase at the behest of the Army and when I can get the time to sneak away from
Yeah.
this place for 2 weeks. And now it gets even harder as I climb up in rank because I have responsibilities, and those responsibilities are the other 9 people that I have to take care of from day to day. I'm
Absolutely.
surprised I don't have white hair by 35. Like
Just
I'll be
die for
35
that.
in two
Just for
years.
men.
Yeah, I know
That's gonna
there's
get
just for
you
men, but
some.
I'm also not gonna dye my hair. I've already kinda said that, like, if it's my time to age, it's my time to
Mhm.
age. There's no point in hiding it. But the thing is like, when people are like, "You don't chase as much. You have not seen these many tornadoes."
Who
And
cares?
this is, again, where I get into, like, the soldier side of me. I don't give a shit. I
Mhm.
don't have I don't have, the indisposable time between March and mid-June to just,
Right.
"Oh, wow. In 6 days, there's gonna be a violent outbreak of tornadoes in Central Illinois. Let me just drop my life and leave." I don't have that luxury.
Also, the Max Velocity, Ryan Hall, Connor Croft, Brandon Kopic, Paige and Bryce, they have it down when it comes to streaming.
And they also have a great I don't think Max
John from Murfreesboro, Tennessee is going to get his information somewhere. I
Mhm.
don't need to be putting out the same stuff that everybody else is putting out.
Right.
I'm going to take pretty pictures,
yeah,
help where I need, and then I'm going to go have Texas Roadhouse.
like,
Chase
to
for
just
you.
take time. Take time and get away. But chase for
Click,
you.
click.
Chase for you. Don't don't dedicate everything to just being out on the road all the time. Take a week. Go
Mhm.
spend time with the people you loved. Go take a vacation. Carve a little bit of time out of this life. Like chase for you, yes, but also remember to take time for yourself. Because if you don't take any time for yourself, you're just gonna wear yourself down and you're gonna be exhausted.
it's almost like we don't celebrate the individuality of every single chaser, right? Like you have the Paige and Bryces and you have these other people who do the live streaming and then they're on the road almost all the time. Then you have those people doing the van life, right? That, they adventure all the time. They live out of a van. Then you have other people like me. Since I started chasing, I had a 50-hour week, 50+ hour week job trying to protect the homeland and come home safe then, and then trying to plan out taking care of the family and all the other stuff. We all have responsibilities is what I was trying to say. I've actually had this private discussion with at least a handful of chasers who said, Lori, my wife is fixing to leave me if I decide to pursue a career in chasing. Guess what? It's time for a tactical pause. People don't, I keep using that word, that term, tactical pause. In the moment, you have time. There's something wrong here if you feel that pull. And yes, maybe I'm preaching to the choir. Maybe this is falling on deaf ears. Maybe it's not the right thing to say. But if there's that problem in the relationship, fix that first. The storms will always be out there, right? Everybody just needs to focus on reality. I think it's so essential that you can take care of your personal business before you go dealing with chasing business. That was another Loriism. Deal with your personal business before you do chasing business. And if you can make chasing business your personal business, more power to you. Like, where are you guys at as far as, are you kind of on a pause right now before storm season comes in? Because now you don't really have to go far. You don't have to full send if storms come to Kansas. I'm sure chasing is
Yeah,
still in the pie in the
that
plans.
was a big part of it. We are still chasing. We've gone on 2 kind of localish chases this year. Nothing spectacular. We have to be realistic this year because of the baby.
And
Right.
there's also the fact that like we have to be realistic as far as like my side of the house too.
Yeah, with the army.
Yeah, because
No kidding.
I'm missing the peak season yet again that everybody traditionally knows, the March through May kind of thing where we're
Yeah.
gonna be in season all of April. So it's like, okay, that's another year where the middle of the season is gone. Then there's
Wow.
also adding in the fact of won't have second season most likely. Will not have next year's storm season most likely because I'm gonna miss it because I'm probably gonna be in Europe. I have no idea when we're
Shoot.
leaving or what any of that. So like
Wow.
it's looking like 2028 might be the year that we get to finally do some full on chasing again.
Mhm.
Looks like it, but we'll see.
We're doing a chasecation this year. We're taking little
Good.
man and giving him to grandma for, a week and a half. My biggest worry for some of the people who dislike me in the community, if you see me with my kid out on a chase, it's going to be for structure shots and like far, far away tornado stuff.
Yeah,
There's
we're
no
not
way.
getting close. No
No
way.
zero metering with the
No
baby,
zero
obviously.
metering.
Come on, people.
But as far as
Especially with the way some of these people drive.
Oh,
projects, I don't think we have
true.
anything much going on. We're still going to
Okay.
do photography. Most, if not all, of the pictures from this chase season on expired film, expired 35
Mm,
millimeter film.
that would be cool.
So, because that's what my Silverton shot was on, and I think
No kidding. Do we have that
any
here?
picture. Yep,
Is
you
you
do.
Let's pull that up. Do you mind if I bring those up now? You take it away. What is this shot?
Oh God.
That's pretty,
What
by the
a
way. Look at that.
what a memory.
This was Chasecation
Look at that.
2023.
Oh,
Our
structure.
It did not look like it was going to do anything spectacular. So to start Chasecation off, we went from El Paso, Texas to Findlay, Ohio. It was a straight up 24-hour drive.
My goodness.
God awful.
We went to see his mom, and we spent less than 24 hours in Findlay before we checked models and saw that Amarillo might do some cool stuff.
We barely slept.
We didn't really sleep, and then we drove
My
from Findlay,
goodness.
Ohio to Amarillo, Texas.
So this is in the span of probably about 72 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think I've ever felt worse than after we got through with that drive.
I bet. Is
But
I'm
that
that
gonna
you
was
in the
text
shot?
Lori yeah,
that's
it is
me.
her. I'm gonna text Lori a picture. You don't have to show this on the podcast, but this will give you an idea of how absolutely exhausted
But that was me
we were.
sitting here thinking how worth it was, because that was one of the prettier supercells for 2023.
Well,
I'll
this is a
take it. I'll take it. Nice
Yeah.
inflow and everything in there. Beautiful.
I don't think
Nice
it dropped
clean too.
anything. it went tornado warned out near Panhandle, Texas, and
Those are
yeah, she'll
beautiful,
love
though.
that.
I'm going to turn it around and show the camera, right?
That's fine.
I'm going to dime
They
you
were
out.
terrible pictures. This one.
I was 7 months pregnant in this picture.
I love this
This was our
one.
paternity shoot.
You actually took this photo for us.
Who? Yeah, I was about to say who took this photo, because they're obviously really good at
They're
nailing the exposure.
fantastic.
Because
Yeah.
such great.
Yeah, no, phenomenal. We could not have asked for a better photographer. That's all I'm saying.
That
It
was
was
our
not posed. Let's put it that way. This was in White Sands, and there was a haboob that had just pretty much ripped through the whole area, so we had to duck and cover for a little bit, and then it passed, and then you guys got set up, and there was lightning, but we didn't actually get a shot. Now that would have been like life changing for me to get a bolt, in this image here with
Yeah.
like in the background. You guys
Oh,
tried.
yeah.
I had them sitting, guys, by the way. I had them sitting like, now just be all lovey dovey with you. And they were just all, this is not in this shot, but there was a storm off in the distance, dropping lightning pretty far away. They were safe. We were safe, trust me. But we tried and we tried, and they were like, okay, we're kind of lovey-doveyed out now, and we just kind of gave up. And then we came over here, we saw the rainbow. I saw the rainbow, and I was like, you guys just and I didn't have to. The greatest thing about being a photographer is not having to pose people. You direct people. If you're going to be a portrait photographer, don't learn to pose people, learn to direct them. I didn't even have to direct. I just said, "Ooh, over there." These two were just, I mean, they were just connected at the hip, and it was such a blessing for me to be able to capture these photos. And they'll share them. I guess there's links somewhere for the whole set, but we got some really
Yeah.
cool shots of them walking along the dunes with the little footprints and a whole bunch of stuff. And no, I'm not really available for these kind of portraits anymore. I'm trying to change things up and do storm chasing. But
This
maybe
was
if it's
one of the best things that anybody could have ever done for us, though. This was one of the best days. So I was 7 months pregnant with our son. Lori has the blackmail pictures of me trying to get up the dunes at 7 months pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
yes, I have video.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. What you don't see on the other side of this dress is a massive slit down the leg, and my panties were just showing the entire time.
The
You had
poor
to keep
families that were just
covering
there to
them.
sled.
You guys
The
kept
poor
covering
families that
them.
were there to sled, they were just like getting like,
Me and my granny panties.
yeah, the free
It's
granny
okay.
panty shot.
You know what? It is what it is. And I love that this is natural wind. It's not, some photographers will hook up wires to dresses and do this and that. No, this is the blowing wind. It was insane chaos. Even at this point, it was still
Yeah.
really
Oh, yeah,
windy.
no, it was insanely windy.
I just saw the moment, and the fact that these two are madly in love with each other, and you see it, and it's just a blessing to be able to share that, and for me to be able to have captured that and shared that with everybody. Okay, we could stay on this photo, but I won't, I promise. And then your boob.
So this is probably about 2 minutes after I had
Not even 2 minutes.
this
You look
one's
so
this one's a
refreshed.
little intimate. This was after, and I know some people know how hard the birth was on me, but this is
Was it?
after. This is day 3 of being in labor. And this was after 3 hours of pushing.
And
then
this was also
Yikes.
probably about 30 minutes after, like,
my epidural wore off.
well, yeah, no, her epidural went
Gosh.
off at about 45 minutes before she gave birth.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I'm tired, I want to stop. And I'm like, hey, we're almost there. You just have to go a little bit farther. That's it. And I could see she was exhausted. Like, I couldn't
Right.
imagine having to put in that kind of work. And
But
Did it
stronger
change
woman
you?
couldn't.
Has this
I think it
changed you?
changed. I think it changed both of us. It kind of showed me the extent of what the female body can do. And seeing that little life in my arms that I made from literally just 2 cells. I watched him grow, got to see him on ultrasounds every week because I was a high risk pregnancy too.
Yeah, there was a period there where it was like either every week or every other week we were at the doctor.
Just having him in our arms, and he was a very prayed for and very planned baby. So he He was very welcome. You could see Mason's crying in the picture.
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely cried.
Well, there's
Any
is
any
that
father,
a teardrop?
Yep.
yeah, it is. Any father who sits there and says, "Oh, I didn't cry," they're full of shit.
Yep. Up the shoes.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that is.
did you? So you weren't pissed at him at this point?
I don't think there was any point where I was like, "Oh, you did this to me," blah. No.
Yeah.
No, it definitely wasn't.
Okay.
I
Good.
think the only there was a point where I was scared because I was so tired. I didn't want to have a C-section.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's what I was trying to like talk her through. Was like, hey, if you keep
My goodness.
going, we're almost there. You're gonna.
This is why it's important to make sure you choose who you have a child with.
Hmm. So you're saying good job, basically, good man,
Yeah.
good job,
Yeah. Good job.
good coach.
Ah.
Oh,
Little
this
tornado around
day.
here.
So this
That's
is
pretty.
second.
I wasn't there yet. This is
I'm
like
trying to
This is
remember. I'm
not
trying to remember.
Silverton.
No,
Nope.
this is Crowell, Texas. This was actually so
Hmm.
this was a very this is one of those moments where it's like when I tell people like chasing while you're in the army is kind of difficult. And sometimes you get lucky with command teams, officers, people you work with. So everybody in my chain of command at SIL throughout my entire time I was there, I had three commanders, and a bunch of different officers appointed over me and NCOs appointed over me that were in charge of me. My arms room officer. So we had to get ready for an inventory. And she told me, because she was a closeted storm chaser of sorts. And she told me, she's like, hey, so here's the deal. You're done, right? And she like looked at me with like this like intent, like, you need to tell me that you're done because I need to hear that you're done kind of face.
Hmm.
Like the one where like, yeah, you did the thing, right? Yeah, I did the thing. I did the thing. So she's like, all right, I'm gonna release you at 1400 if they ask me where you are. You're handling something else. I bolted out the door, got to my truck, drove home, got out of uniform as fast as I could. I didn't even really check like like
Models or
ground
anything.
ops or anything. Like
Yeah.
I was like, all right. So it was like a day that I think it was like Seminole, Oklahoma also had a tornado. Like there were a bunch of chasers like Gage Shaw and all them that were all in like Seminole. And I was like, do I want to see a rain wrapped like wedge in the woods? Or do I wanna
Dang.
go out on the flatlands of, like, the Red River Valley in Texas and go see a tornado?
Look at that
I
color.
drove Yeah, I drove, like I got there maybe, like, an hour before the storm, like, produced this tornado. I got there right after another
Wow.
tornado had dropped and produced, and I was trying to get, like, caught up with the conga line, and then I saw down the road because I was on another road, not this road.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Okay, I see the conga line. I need to turn around and go back because 'cause I'm gonna get
Wow.
ahead of them." And then I stopped maybe about 2 miles from here, was watching the storm come together, and I was like, "Okay, I need to move up." Got up maybe about a mile from where I had stopped before, and then stopped and took this picture from the side of the road. My truck was backed into the ditch to get off the highway,
Nice. You mean
was
you didn't
kind of
park
in
on
a
the right here on the the right lane, or you didn't park your
you
truck
know,
blocking both lanes?
I coulda tried that, but I just, I don't have the money for that.
No, he's not employed by News 9, don't worry.
Yeah,
We
no.
can leave that shot in there.
Yeah. But
Dang,
it was,
that's a great
it was
shot.
definitely one of those days where I was like, I am definitely it's gonna be either reward or it's gonna be bust, and it
That
was
color, that
definitely
Red River or that Texas red
yeah,
mud
that Texas
is
red
like the
dirt.
yep. Is that hail on the road too? Looks like a little bit of peas.
No, I think that's just the way, like, some of those roads out there in rural,
Grainy road.
like Red River Valley of Texas, they have that grainy, like,
Yeah.
texture.
Yeah.
It was just perfect,
Right
perfect day.
on. Dude, that's beautiful, man. I would have printed this and put it on my wall, that's for sure.
I
Love the
want to, I keep
structure. It's
We've got a
clean.
lot of stuff we need to print out.
I
yeah.
know. You guys just moved to Kansas, so you have time to put new stuff on the walls.
Yeah.
I hate you. I know what this is. I've only s I never wanna see a picture of Silverton in my life.
We kinda
It's
tormented you
okay.
with this one, I guess.
What?
So
We kinda tormented you with this one, sorry.
It's
so
okay.
I'm gonna
I could
preface this by saying
I'm a big girl.
one of our friends in Amarillo, Scotty Vanderford, Amarillo classic on Twitter, I had been talking to him for a long time about how I wanted to get into film, and I wanna preface this again by saying, coming out of alcoholism, lost my job, I'm not made of money. So, me getting a new camera
We saw him like a week before we took this photo.
Wow.
that was the same weekend.
Was it the same week?
Yes.
Could have sworn it
Yeah.
was a couple of days before.
Um,
Anyways.
but we, like, I've been telling me I want a good film. Do you have any recommendations? Hopefully on the cheaper side so I could save up for it. I don't have a job. I'm a stay-at-home mom, blah, 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 all this stuff. I don't make money. So I'm at the behest of what he gives me. I know it sounds bad, but
It does sound kind of bad, but
um,
treat you pretty good, I think.
you do.
I was gonna say it's both your money. Come on, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we went and had dinner with him at Sharky's Burritos in Amarillo, and he presented me with an old Olympus, I think it was an OM20, and
Wow.
a roll of film. And I remember having no idea what I was doing with this film camera. I was just like, I'm gonna set it with what I think is correct.
It was more the look on your face when
No
he gave it to
way.
you because you're like, "Oh, this is to borrow, right?" And he's like, "No,
No, he gave it to me.
this
It's
is
like,
for
Aw.
like."
So
so
cool.
I set it to what settings I thought would be best. I had no idea what I'm doing film wise. I just kind of had like, okay, so digital, put it
Look how
film, hopefully.
detailed that is, though, too, though, man. Like, look at how much detail. Zoom, 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 zoom. Look at that cow, like, sniffing the other one's butt. No,
Um,
I'm just kidding. But seriously, there's high resolution using that kind of that film too. It's just so much detail into the image and the
that
color.
is
I'll never forget because like that film, like we pulled it out of the camera and I think it was like we were still doing like half days. We still hadn't like gotten all our equipment back.
Mhm.
And we had rotated as a platoon, like who the NCOs were gonna be on rail. I got off at noon and she was at work still. And I took and dropped her film off at a camera shop in El Paso because it was the only one in the El Paso area that dealt
Still
in
dealt with
film.
film. Yeah.
Yeah, and dropped it off and they said, "What's the email?" And I gave I gave them her email and they said it'll be in about 10 to 12 days. So pick her up from work, tell her that, and then when we got these back, the look on her face alone before I didn't even look at the picture
Right. You
yet.
don't
Like
know.
she's
You
just
don't
looking
know
at the
if you got
picture.
the shot. You saw the
Yeah.
tornado, and you don't know. You don't get to chimp and go. There it is. You have to wait, sit and wait for film to be developed. Kiddos, if you don't know
And
what that's like,
I
brutal.
was actually at work. I remember when I got the email and I was a terrible employee and I was just, checking my email at work. And I got the
Oh,
picture and I was just like, I wanted to cry because I was like, this is the shot that I've been wanting for a long time. Like
Wow.
this is it. I got the actual like thick tornado, the stovepipe on film, but it does
Mhm.
not compare to this.
The rope at the
I
end.
showed it to Mason. I was just like, I did it. Like this was one of my like bucket list shots.
and
So
I think what's really good is that like so I wanted to get close to the rope out. Like I wanted to be able to like film and like look straight up the thing and like see the whole like structure of the rope out. She was yelling at me.
I was like, stop. I was like, no, drop me
Right?
off here. I do not want to be up his butt. I want to get this right here.
Yeah.
I almost stopped, dropped her off like she said, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hang here. This is a better spot to look.
I don't
And
need
it's
to
a
be up its
great
butt.
road. It's not even a dirt road either, so what a privilege.
I think the only other people on that road were like like I know Jim Tang was on that
I
road.
think Jim Tang was like a couple of 100 feet behind us.
Yeah, like
Tang is amazing.
he is. He's
He's a spectacular person.
yeah, he is. But yeah, I got this shot and I got there. I think I got a couple other shots and I had kind of been keeping a few to myself. I shared
Yeah.
one on Twitter the other day. It was the Denver City Supercell
Mm.
with the tractor out front.
Yeah.
But yeah, my goal this year is to do everything on expired film.
No kidding.
If I can
That's
get,
tough.
if I could. This
Oh, I had set my phone up.
no, this was
Was
there's this, I don't know, you probably know about this, Lori. There's this junky little lightning trigger on iPhone, right?
Oh yeah, no,
Mhm.
that was your phone.
Yeah.
Because I had done the time lapse earlier.
Yeah,
It
you did the time
sucks. I
lapse and
hate using it. Phil was the one. Phil from Stormfront Freaks is the one that told me about it. But you know what,
yeah,
man? Look, you've got the little teeth on the supercell in here, and you've
you
got
know?
the little bolt, and I don't know if that's the two of you
So
because that does not look like Mason.
that is us.
Okay.
But
Somebody's looking down at his phone instead of at the storm.
This was a day in New
I think I was, like,
Mexico.
trying to see if it had rotation, 'cause, like, we had been, like, waiting for this thing to, like, do something.
I'm like,
This is a New Mexico day. I think this
Hmm.
was in, like, September or
I
something
wanna
like
say
that.
this was our second Clovis day of that of
yeah,
I
2820.
don't remember. I
pretty
know
good
that there were
shot.
2 targets. There were 2 targets. There was one up near Clovis, and then there was one down near this is near coming into Roswell.
This
Mhm.
is when Roswell got really badly flooded.
Yeah.
Ugh, the drive back from this
That's
was
another
terrible.
story.
Ugh,
A lot of people broke off, went for the northern target.
they went to Clovis,
They went
and
to Clovis, and we had to work the next day, so we were like, "You know
Right.
what? We're gonna start heading back towards El Paso. We're gonna go to Roswell, call it a night."
Mhm.
There
I
was a
love the
cell
fact
down
that
there that kinda looked a little cute, I guess. Didn't look like it was gonna do much, but, we headed towards it, and then it shaped up to be a gorgeous storm. There were there was you would have to ask the groundhogs if there was circulation on the ground, because there were a bunch of times where it looked like it was on the ground.
yeah.
Um,
Was it
I
Amy
mean,
Howard?
it's almost
oh,
doing it there, huh?
the only people I know of that were on the storm with us were Ryan Scholl and, I think Amy
Mhm.
Howard was on the storm with
Yeah,
us.
because I think we posted the picture, and then Amy Howard was like, "Oh, that was you guys?"
Yes, yeah.
Because she was, like, I think not even 100 feet.
She was, like, right behind us, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's clear rotation right in here, beautiful,
Yep.
and then it's all
It was a
backed and
gorgeous
everything.
storm, and we watched it, you know, until it got
Inflow
too
tail,
dark, and we decided to
classic LP there.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think we called it and then went home.
We Side note, we tried to go home through Roswell, but they closed all roads in Roswell because they were flooded. So we had to go
Wow.
back up to Vaughn
Oh, what a
and
pain.
then go all the way back down through, like, what was it, Tularosa?
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
Tularosa,
54. Yeah.
Mhm.
Carrizozo or whatever the hell that town is
Oh,
called.
that's
Yeah,
brutal. That's a
it
long
was
road.
yeah, and instead of getting home, like a decent hour, like 9 o'clock, we got
No,
home at
it's
like I think it
12.
was 1, and I had to work the
Yeah.
next. Well, we both did,
We both had to work the next morning.
and getting up in the morning was just
That's crazy. Well, we went through so many different things, and you all, I've asked questions about, what advice you would give. Usually I reserve those till the end, but we kind of went right into it. You were talking about some heavy stuff. I appreciate you being so vulnerable also. It's hard, right? I mean, we're talking and we know other people are going to watch this, but
Much
honestly, I
regards.
think I think it's essential that we have these conversations and that other people know that none of us are perfect. We're all stumbling forward, right? But I think it's important that we support one another and also learn to forgive each other and most importantly learn to forgive ourselves, right? There's so much that I have work to do on my own self even at almost 55. So, there's so much to do. Yes, I'm almost 55.
no judgment here.
I think there's a lot to gain by listening into this to the full podcast and not just a clip or a snippet. But
Mhm.
Yeah,
real quick, I want to just do a quick lightning round with you all before I let you all go because your baby's probably like, "Where the heck is mom?" At this point. If you had to take either from a photography perspective or a chasing perspective, mountains or oceans, go.
mountains,
Okay, tornadoes or structure. You can only be
Tornadoes.
one.
tornadoes.
That was not lightning. That was very delayed.
I know it's such a struggle though, because like I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a self-professed structure slut when it
Yeah.
comes to it. So it's like
So, if you could choose any vehicle to chase in, what would be your ideal chase vehicle?
19
My gosh, the three cylinder? Are you kidding?
oh yeah, that 3-cylinder
Yep.
that's like 40 horsepower. I'm just gonna stick in the red Colorado. It's such a known vehicle. Yeah, everybody sees that red Colorado with a snorkel pull up, and it's like, oh yeah, there they
Yeah,
are.
there they are. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
I'm gonna yeah, sunset. I'm a sucker for a sunset.
Good, good, good. And by the way, just I like the red truck. But just don't get into my composition. That's so funny. I never told you guys. I was like, who the f are these people getting in my
My
shot?
bad, my bad.
Then I was like, oh, it's Cassie and Mason. Sorry, and I forgot. I couldn't get your name right either. I was like Craig, You're like Mason,
Cra
Mason. I don't know. I kept screwing it up. You're like, it's okay. We forgive you. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, no, I can't
I'm
I
such a
can't be mad
dope.
about it. No,
I'm
you're
just a
not.
dope. I mean, I can't remember things. I was struck by lightning, y'all, in 1998. So, okay, what's your top item on your bucket list? We got to let you go, but what's your final thing? What's your top bucket list item now? 'Cause you've already gotten a couple of bucket lists like that Silverton tornado.
Ooh, that's a.
Oh, what kind of question is that?
She's
Sprites,
talking like. I think she's talking like
mega
like top
wedge.
like things we haven't seen.
Yeah. What's something you want to capture at some point in the
Chapman.
future?
Again, I want Chapman 2.0
What's
on
I don't know
film.
what Chapman.
Chapman,
Chapman,
Kansas.
Kansas.
Oh, okay.
The Abilene Chapman, Kansas, 2018. I want to say it was 16.
Just like a photogenic, gorgeous wedge or Bennington. I want a Kansas wedge on film. Like, no, I don't want a plum
Backlit by
nut.
the
I don't want a
sun, right?
Greensburg. Yeah.
That way the film captures all the detail and the contrast.
Yeah.
That
See,
sounds good.
I would say a Kansas wedge because like I said, 16 years still haven't seen a tornado in this godforsaken state.
Well, that's bucket list.
I
You need a
want to.
Kansas wedge.
I want to go back and chase South Dakota because the only thing I ever saw in South Dakota was just a little wimpy little noodle. I want to see like a Manchester. I want to see a Manchester like a Bowdle.
Out over the
That's what I want to
Badlands,
see.
maybe.
Ooh,
A super soul over the Badlands.
there we
There
go.
we go.
That would be
There you
yeah.
go.
We have access to that now. We can do that
Yeah.
now.
We don't have to drive 2 days to get there.
We do, so y'all need to knock it off. Guys, this has been fun. Thanks so much for just being vulnerable again, but also having fun,
Let's go.
sharing some of the fun stuff too. You guys have gone through some really tough stuff, and then you get to enjoy the chase, right? You guys love each other. Two chasers who I can't get my spouse to come. I can't get my kids to go chasing with me. You all are very lucky and to be able to love what you do and to be able to love that same passion to get out there again also. So I just want to thank you again for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for.
One final thing, where can they find your links? Like the easiest way to find you on social media.
You can look me up on Twitter. That's where I post most of my chasing related stuff. It's going to be Cassie Frey _WX.
Cassie
Yours is
Fry,
Mason.
like
Yep.
Frenchy
And that's
fry, not Frey, like the
no.
dummy
Yep.
I say. Cassie Fry.
FREY.
Even though it looks like it's spelled the same way as the phrase from Game of Thrones, but it is not said the
Ooh,
same.
And then Mason,
gotcha.
you can find him at Mason Fry _WX.
Yeah, I always forget if it's underscore.
Underscore
It is.
WX.
And
Okay.
then that's really the only form of social media that we have.
Thanks again, guys, for being here. But please like and subscribe and all that stuff. Take care, Mason and Cassie. Take it
Take
right.
care.